After the success of Resident Evil, the survival horror genre boomed in popularity, with games coming out every year that improved upon its basis. But before we take a look at the future of the survival horror genre, we must go back in time. A year before Resident Evil had scared everyone with its foreboding atmosphere and zombie dogs jumping out of a window. There was a game called Clock Tower, a game that was never released outside of Japan, but did receive an English fan translation. Clock Tower the First is a point-and-click survival horror game, where we follow the story of Jennifer, an adopted orphan on her way to her new home with her friends. Soon you discover that something sinister is going on, and you are immediately forced to explore the dark hallways of the mansion alone, with the only sound being your footsteps. And throughout the game, Bobby, the iconic scissor man, will chase you with his gigantic pair of scissors, and the only way to lose him is to hide. But be careful, as some of these hiding spots will not always work. Being chased by the scissor man is all very intense at first, but the game kind of lost its scares once you find out that he can't really follow you everywhere, and some of the scares do look a bit goofy by today's standards. What makes this game unique from other survival horror games at the time, besides its point-and-click gameplay, is its theme. Clock Tower is a slasher game with a supernatural twist, while Resident Evil has zombies and Silent Hill has grotesque creatures from another world. Clock Tower opted for a more traditional villain, something that is surprisingly rarely seen in horror games. Even after 25 years, the game still looks gorgeous. The environments are very detailed and has a great use of colors, with an atmosphere that's reminiscent of 80s giallo films. My only issue with it is the copy-pasted hallway, which makes it very hard to know which room you need to go to. Every time I wanted to enter a specific room, I literally have to enter every single one of them, hoping that I get lucky and enter the right one. Jennifer's health status is indicated below the screen, and it would change depending on the situation. Her health status also shares with her stamina. When running, it will reduce her health state, making her more vulnerable. But Jennifer's default walking speed is just way too slow that you really have no choice but to run. If her portrait becomes red, then that means you won't be able to fight back when in panic mode, and the only way to replenish this is for Jennifer to rest when Scissor Man is not around. You must also search for every nook and cranny of the mansion to find items that can help you in your exploration, though some of the items are a bit difficult to spot as they are mostly located on the corner of the screen. On my first playthrough, I was just walking around the mansion for 30 minutes looking for something that I might have missed, and I only got to finish it by looking at a guide. Now the game might be a little short with only taking about 2 hours to finish the whole story, but it does make up for with its replayability value. Not only does the game has 9 different endings for you to unlock, but the game also randomizes everything each playthrough. Items that you picked up on your previous run might not be there the next time around, and some events might not even happen, making sure that your experience will never be the same every time. Even after my 6th playthrough, I was still finding out more new things about the game. The game was ported on other systems as well, such as the PlayStation, WonderSwan, and for the PC, but still it never got an official English release. I've played the game on the PS1, which added a few new scares and scenes to the game, albeit a very unnecessary one. Some of the changes include a longer load time, ugly effects, and some graphical glitches. The game's aspect ratio is also very distracting. If you wanna experience the game for yourself, well, the PS1 version is not the way to go. I recommend playing the SNES original or the PC port for a much better experience. Clock Tower may have been forgotten by time, but if you haven't experienced this game yet, you are definitely missing out on an underrated slasher classic.